Introduce the players now, shall we? Making a second appearance in this WBT World Singles Championships is a player with 6 Scottish national titles to her credit. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome the very popular and the gorgeously talented Julie Forrest.
Don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now. If you want to have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me now. Good time. Don't stop me now. Good time. I don't want to stop at all.
Our next player has gained the utmost respect from many of his peers. Twice a World Under-25s and former World Indoor Singles Champion. It is, of course, Stuart Anderson.
Final countdown.
Well, thank you very much, Richard, for that kind introduction. In for an interesting game here this afternoon in the Just 2017 World Indoor Bowls Championship Main Open Singles, kindly hosted by Potters Resort. Delighted to be joined in commentary by my fellow commentator, Darren Burnett.
Yeah, thanks, Janice. It's going to be a great game, this. Third singles match of the event, and 2 seeds have fallen already, so Stuart will know he's going to have to be at the top of his game to take Julie out.
Yeah, Julie has qualified for the last 32 before. Memory serves me right, she faced another Scot on that occasion. I think it was Alex Marshall. I remember sitting in the auditorium and watching that game. Came through a tough qualifier at Carlisle Indoor Bowls Club. Couldn't make the Falkirk Scottish qualifiers, so roamed across the borders to England and took the English scalps at Carlisle to win the qualifier there.
Yeah, I think that's something she's become familiar with doing, Janice. She's a quality player, and as I say, if these two perform the way they can, and as they've started in this match, we're in for a treat.
One red.
Choosing to try and draw this off the backhand. Looks on a decent line. Needs a piece of the jack. Yeah, great bowl, Julie.
Certainly glad we're up here, Janice. The start of this match has been really impressive. Just about
Front
changed
bowl
every
is
bowl.
9 inches, the gap, and the back bow is 14.
Again, a good track from Stuart. Nice swingy hand this, but you've got to be a perfect weight with it for it to come back.
So Julie just be looking to pick a hand. It's
Yeah,
drawable either side, really. She could go back to her favoured forehand, just try and beat Stuart's last bowl. That would be the target.
Should swing back all the way here. Great ball.
Great end from Julie,
3 green.
asking all sorts of questions of Stuart at the first end. 2 choices. He either tries to draw a close one to get a good second, perhaps, or he might attack this. It looks like a good attacking shot beforehand. Any contact's going to be damage limitation.
Looks in the area. Oh, just got wrecked off his own bowl.
Super effort there from
shot,
Stuart.
Julie
He was
Forrest.
probably only just a quarter of a bowl out. I actually thought he was just getting inside the short one. But great end from Julie. She'll be really pleased with her start in the game there. A great opening end from both players, really. But Julie scores a heavy 3 at the first end.
Julie's played a number of times here in the ladies' events. She was runner-up last year in the mixed pairs. Not in the ladies' events this year. Tried to qualify and just got beaten in the
Jack
final
length, 25.5 metres. 25.5.
by Claire Johnston. It's a good game of bowls, but Claire was well behind Julie in the opening set of the qualifying game to get here, but Claire played some awesome bowls to come back into it. I'll give a shout out to Claire because I know she's listening in this afternoon, Darren.
Yeah, absolutely. We've, an abundance of talent up in the ladies' game up in Scotland at the moment, so I'm sure it would have been a very good tussle between the two of them. And it's good that they're both qualified here in different events. So, yeah, certainly good talent coming through in the ladies' game up in Scotland.
Well, Stuart's on a good line. All about his weight here. Yeah, great bowl. Don't forget, we do have the facility for you to ask us questions here on the YouTube stream chat. If you want to bob your questions on, we'll try and answer them for you. And if you can't stay with us, the full results are on worldbowlstour.tv, the website.
Julie's bowl is now 6 inches short of Jack high.
I'm sure we'll have a lot of Scottish viewers listening in this afternoon. An all Scottish tie there out in this first round of the last 32 of the championship. Here again, Stuart.
Fantastic ball from Stuart there. He backed up his first ball and he's made it quite awkward for Julie. You should probably have to switch your hand now down to the forehand.
Just overplayed it, but it does keep for the back bowl. Gives her options. Nice crowd in here this afternoon to watch this game. And we have another game tonight at 7:30. That features another Scot, David Gourlay. And he's facing Englishman Chris Gale at 7:30. Join us for that one later.
Stuart just not quite as happy with this one. Possibly pushed it a bit further out on the line, but it's coming round the back. It's coming to a decent enough spot, so I don't see really Julie changing much here. I think she'll just still try and come in on her forehand. She'll be looking first and foremost to try and get second shot. If she can draw the shot, it would be an absolute cracking ball.
Gone for a runner. Looks under this, Darren.
Yeah, it's a difficult shot to play with the weight Julie's played it there. She should know herself. It's a very, very tough shot. If you're playing that shot, you've got to almost commit fully to it and just go right at it. Try and play a timer, as we've seen so often during the event. It's just such a difficult shot to pick a line on. Just now left the door open for Stuart to draw a third one and even the game up.
on his pace. And a very good line here. Probably done enough.
3 shots, Stuart Anderson.
Set score 3-3 after 2 ends.
High scoring game after 2 ends, all square at 3-3. Stuart Matt back. Tend to see that from Stuart Anderson. Seems to prefer to play the longer length jacks.
Jack length 28 metres.
Had a question about the awards night. Of course, Stuart picked up the award for Match of the Year. A superb match he played against Nick Brett in the 2015 Scottish International Open, which virtually changed with every bowl sent. And yes, there are reports and pictures on the website. As far as I know, there was no video or streaming done. There certainly was no streaming from us done. So I hope that answers your question. The man that got the big award on that night, and I don't believe had any ideas that he was going to get that award, is Darren Burnett, who went into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Janice, it was certainly an unexpected award to collect right at the end of the night, so one I'm absolutely honoured to have received. You know, I join an elite club of players who have been honoured before me, so absolutely delighted with that.
It was a good night. It's a night where the players can let the hair down.
1 green.
Julie back in the groove there, Janice. She just let her first one drop slightly, but she's a great adjustment with her second. Julie down a similar track here. If she's got the right running, she's on a good line in.
Just needs to slip past the short ball.
2 green.
Bit of deja vu here for Stuart. He's faced with a similar ask to the first end. He's perfectly capable of drawing around his own bowls, but the percentage shot looks to play up inside with running again and try and get onto the line shot, spring the jack out to the side.
He's in the area. Great result that. His ball's stuck to that jack.
Yeah, all you can do is hit the target. You know, some days you get maximums, and that was certainly a maximum result. To stun onto the jack and run through it was the absolute bonus of the shot. He hit his target perfectly well, but he would have probably been expecting to push the jack out and leave Julie an easy draw for 1. Instead, she's 2 down. I'm sure she'll beat the second one, but it'll not be easy to beat that ball, just having to go quite high out in the line.
A very experienced international skip. Used to playing to displaced jacks, but this is not an easy one, Darren.
One shot, Stuart Anderson.
Yeah, just left it short. Julie, she'll be quite delighted. She's run far enough just to get the second,
Set
to be
score
honest.
4-3 after 3
Always
ends.
difficult to get out to that corner, or any of the corners on the rink, to be fair, Janice. It's a really tough ask. Most players are playing with a fairly big biased ball, and the one sort of limit to that is if the jack goes into the corners, then it really is quite difficult to get to. off the inside hand, the hand that would normally maybe try and play as often blocked with bowls as it was there. So you're forced to
Jack
go down the
length,
ditch side,
29 and a
and you
half
certainly don't want
metres.
to put one in the
29 and
boards.
a half.
And Stuart's made sure he made the full length delivery here. Full length jack.
It's just over 2 feet.
I've had a question in, Darren, I'll put it to you. Do you think Stuart or any of the male players in the top 16 feel under any more pressure because they're playing a lady instead of a gentleman?
Yeah, I see a few comments coming through on that, Janice. I don't think we do, to be perfectly honest. You know, if you're playing somebody at the World Championships, regardless who you're playing, they've qualified at an event. They've beaten a lot of players to get there. So, from my perspective, it doesn't put any more pressure on you. You're just playing against an opponent, whether that be male or female. At the end of the day, you're trying to win the game. So, I don't think it does. And Stuart will know Julie very well. It's not like he's playing a lady he doesn't have any knowledge of. He'll know Julie's game, so I don't think he'll be feeling under pressure. He'll just be trying to play his game.
It's not a game that involves a lot of strength difference, like some sports. If men are stronger, they're at an advantage. For example, tennis, men have a bigger serve, so that can make a huge difference. This is a game of skill and tactics. As long as you can bowl a ball from one end of a rink to another, you've only got 4 bowls each. You just have to get them closer than your opposition, no matter who they are.
Yeah, loose it in here from Julie. She just needs to try and keep in here and keep things tight. Stuart will undoubtedly be trying to draw for 2 here, put Julie under pressure with her last ball. What Julie needs to do is not let Stuart get away from her by 3 or 4 shots, because then the game gets much more difficult. So she has to play a big last ball here.
And down a good line again. Might have even took that for 3.
2 red.
That's just the 2. Still 2 though, like you say, Darren. Julie doesn't want Stuart to start running away with a set. She scored a good 3 on the first end. This looks a touch tight to me for line.
Two shots, Stuart Anderson.
Yeah, it's just picking up a 2 there, and in all fairness, it's a fairly cheap 2. Julie just coming up a bit short of too many air balls there, so
after 4 innings.
falls 3 behind in the set. Just picking up on a comment from an ex-international colleague, Janice, about my opponent here this week. Chap Paul Butler, who plays at the same club as Joe McGinley, who I used to play with in Scotland. So I'm looking forward to my game later in the week. Obviously to wait till Thursday night, but I don't know much about Paul, but what I do know is he qualifies from Australia. He's going to be a quality player, so I'm going to have to be at the top of my game. But yeah, I just can't wait till Thursday to come round.
Yes, I think that's the thing when you're here, Darren. You want to be out there playing games and keep going, really. Fantastic venue, lots to do here, lots outside the bowls that you can get involved with, and 10-pin bowling alley, there's snooker and darts and various things outdoors that are probably a bit chilly at this time of year, but it's a fantastic venue. But I think you'll just like to get as many games in on the portable as you can. Well, Stuart turned his back on that. Not 100% sure why. It's come back well. Obviously a perfectionist.
Yeah, Stuart plays that forehand going away from commentary box here very well. He plays it all the time and he seems to settle on a line quite quickly in matches, so I'm not surprised to see him coming down that side.
One red.
Stuart's just pulled the line a bit this time. This will cut under quite quickly, possibly just lacking a bit of pace as well, but he's beating the front ball, so Julie again has to try and get in with this third one.
That's on a good line. The very swingy bowls. Julie Forrest plays with hens like tigers. Stuart out there with aces or internationals, Darren? He's out there with aces, so yeah, both playing with swingier bowls. Julie will be disappointed with her last bowl, just pulling up short.
Yeah, she's picking her lines, you know, same last end. I think she had good lines, just seems to be searching for weight at the moment, the last couple ends.
Said before that the pace can change out there as well. You can have a half-hour practice on the rink as the players get before they start the first game of any session. But it does change, and it changes in the middle of a game sometimes, and it's often who's the first to adjust to that pace change. Julie's on a tighter line with this. Not sure this is making the trip, Darren.
No, she needs to push on, even get a wee contact on her own and off of Stuart's inside one, but just lacking in pace.
2 shots, Stuart Anderson.
Lots of comments coming
Set
in,
score,
Janice, about
3
the
after
deliveries
5
of the
ends.
players, and I, for one, don't really want to dwell on the subject too much, not having a very orthodox delivery, but you know, I think the important thing is the word consistency. You know, we'd all love to have a perfectly smooth delivery, but the truth of the matter is we all deliver differently. So I think as long as you're consistent with your delivery, then that's the key to it. You know, and those players who maybe have a slightly
29
more
metres,
unorthodox
29.
delivery, as long as it's consistent, then the end result's normally pretty good.
Yes, I'm glad you took that one, Darren, but a few comments in about deliveries, and I agree with Darren. It's all to be a consistent delivery. Some of the best players in the world have a slight bump to the delivery or slight cobble. At the end of the day, they win events, they win championships. It's all about having that consistency with it.
Certainly the next couple ends are vital for Julie. She must win them and give herself a chance in this set. Just searching about with her first couple of balls at the moment, and that's put her under pressure in the ends.
Got a chance here. Stuart's pulled his first 2 deliveries just short. Just an adjustment on a last.
First boat is 2.5 feet short of jack high, and that's 3 feet short of jack high.
Julie's certainly watching this bowl. Needs to slip past the short bowl of Stuart Anderson. Just fed its way through the gap there. Probably holding shot. Still plenty of room for Stuart. Bit of a smile from Julie there.
Stuart's changed his hand. He's still pushing this one on as if he feels he's just slightly short and running, but I think he's going to beat the green one, so he's got the shot back.
One red.
Nice little nudge off Stuart's bowl there.
One green.
Yeah, excellent ball from Julie. It was an important draw for her. She wanted to get that one in.
All on Stuart's weight here. Very good track. It's coming all the way back now. It sits down. Yeah, shot bowl. Great bowl,
One
Stuart.
red.
Just under the line. If she can get a piece of her own bowl, turn it.
One shot, Stuart Anderson.
Yes, a tradition of the portable rink. It's
Set
very
score,
hard to
9-3
lift a ball
after
once.
6
The ball
ends.
just seems to slide and sit back in position. And the ironic thing is, if you fall back onto the jack will push itself up 5 inches easy just with a back toucher. So one of the wee characteristics of the rink, you know, the jack seems to just roll if you fall into it. Whereas to try and lift the ball once is very difficult. So often you see what happened to Julie there. She just basically touched the ball, didn't quite have enough
Jack
just to
length,
push it over.
29
Which
and
would
a
have
half
probably given her the
metres,
shot.
29 and a half.
Sticking to his 29.5-metre jack. Julie's 6 behind, 3 ends to play. I often say about the 7th end being a vital end in 9-end sets. I think it's vital that Julie scores at this end. Close with this.
Much better opener there from Julie.
One green.
Just be looking to repeat her last delivery, just try and get another one in there.
Good track again. Just fell short. Perfect line. Stuart didn't like that slap of his thigh. Knew he'd overplayed it. So Julie, you need to make the most of this opportunity. Try and slot another one in. Good track again. Needs to ease down.
One green.
just ran a little too far, but you know, you can understand Julie wanting to reach that. She was going to score nothing if she dropped another one short, so big ball here. Stuart, if he can slot one in just behind the jack, then he leaves Julie in all sorts of problems.
Well, he was down a good line with his last. All a question of just adjusting that pace. Looks closer. It's a great ball there from Stuart. Again, it puts all the pressure
red.
back on Julie again. Yeah, he's tipped it for 2 as well. It stays like it is.
Yeah, it's just a great ball from Stuart. He's taken all Julie's play away from her. Really very little on, to be perfectly honest. She's just got to probably keep the forehand, try and swing round the front balls and see if she can go back to the Stuart's ball or the jack, but it's a very difficult shot.
Just overplayed. It didn't want to be short though.
No, and dropping the 2 obviously makes it very difficult now. I mean, 2 4s is just about impossible in perfect honesty. So, you know, the next 2 ends are going to be important for Julie, just to try and get herself settled into the game, you know, just try and get her weight back. I think that's what she'll use at the next end. Try and get her weight, consistency back the way she started the game.
Umpire being called out to decide on the second bowl.
Just while they're measuring there, Janice, obviously my comment about the speed of the portable rink and how it differs from indoor bowling stadiums up and down the country. Well, you know, the portable rink speed now, I would say, is comparable with some indoors. Certainly we have back in Scotland. You know, it's probably running, in my opinion, about
2 shots, Stuart Anderson.
you know, around about the 16-second mark, which seems to be a similar speed for most indoors up and down the country. Quite sure those who lay the
Set score,
green will argue it's going
11-3
quicker,
after
but
7
you know,
ends.
professional bowlers, I think we're all in the same opinion that, you know, good indoor speeds now are around about 16 seconds. I think a few years ago we used to get them up into the 17s, maybe close to 18, but that seems to have been a while ago now. So portable rink runs at a nice speed,
Jack
and
length,
it's certainly
29 and a
swinging well
half
this year.
metres.
So
29 and a half.
I would say it does compare to indoor stadiums. It's certainly not much quicker than them. So that's the answer I would give.
Well, Stuart looking good here with his first delivery. That makes 2 4s for Julie Forrest very hard to count. Not that it was going to be easy anyway. Of course, it's a record this year for ladies qualifying. We have 3 ladies in the last 32 of the Open. We also had 3 ladies playing in the playoffs outside on the bowlers' bar rinks. So there was 6 ladies in total in the main event here. But it's always tough for qualifiers. Very hard work. We've seen 2 qualifiers come through the first rounds. First 2 games on, Andy Thompson lost to Graham McKee, the Irish qualifier. And earlier this morning we witnessed
2
Mark
red.
Dawes losing to Charlie Benz. So the scoreboard's all green with results at the moment, but that doesn't mean to say it's an easy task. These top 16 are hard nuts to crack, and they know this portable rink better than anyone. That's why they're the top 16.
Absolutely, Janice. I mean, Stuart's played on a good end here, but you know that the last 2 days I've watched games, and you know we've had the pairs game I commentated on yesterday, where the oldest player in the rink was 34. 2 players in their 20s, one around the 30 mark. So we went from that to watching Charlie this morning at 71. You know, fulfilling probably a lifetime ambition to come here and play in the World Championships, and he's played an excellent first round match and he's now into the second round. So if that doesn't say it for our sport, I don't know what else does. It really is open to everybody.
Well, I think Julie's just trying to find a weight here now. Knows this set's gone away from her. Stewart, meanwhile, just slotting another bowl in the head there. A great drawer of the bowl, Stewart. Close here.
2 shots in the first set to Stuart Anderson.
Well, Stewart took the set 13-3. Julie Forrest scored the 3 on the opening end. Stuart Anderson dominated the next 7 ends of the game. So certainly can't take that away from Stewart. Tough playing a qualifier.
Yeah, absolutely, and Stuart's not going to give much away. He's a very
Jack
consistent
length,
player.
29.5 metres.
I think what Julie has to
29.5.
work on this set is if Stuart does feel he's first one, it's important she tries to step in with her first ball and try and put Stuart under a bit of pressure.
Yeah, the winner of this game will meet Graham McKee in the next round. Good crowd in here, very appreciative of the bowls. Very supportive of all the players. Of course, they have the favourites, but in general, they're very much supportive of good bowls sent.
Absolutely, and it's another great crowd in the arena again, watching this game, Janice. The crowds are always fantastic down here, and they like to see good bowls.
It's one of the few venues that if you do come to Potters at this time of year, you get to mingle with the top players in the world. It's always nice to stop and have a chat to people. They probably ask us as many questions when we're out and about, Darren, as they do on the stream chat.
Yeah, absolutely. They're only too happy to stop and chat away to you, and like to throw in a question or two, and we try our best to
One
answer
red.
them.
Front bow's a shot, though, yes. The front red and the green one, 20 inches.
It's in the area again, Stewart here. Rests off that
2
bowl.
red.
Julie's certainly out in a great track this time. It's all on her pace. Has she got enough pace to get her there?
Oh, has it just sat
One
out?
green.
No, 1 green.
Great ball from Julie. She didn't want to drop a 2 or 3 at this first end after the way the first set went. Stuart's having a good look at this. And obviously the connection would probably take Julie's out. Back's
Timeout
pretty
call.
well mixed, so
Stuart has 4 timeouts remaining.
he's got a decision to make here. He could play an attacking ball. He gets onto his own red one. He would probably remove Julie's. He'd be line 2 again. Still a perfectly good forehand draw available as well. If he touches the jack, he would also make a 2. So really what he's feeling confident with at this moment in the match, I would say.
Well, he's taken a time out to take his time over the shot decision and delivery. All on the pace, looks a very good line. Just needs to finish now for him. I think it's made it back in. Mike
Slightly
Davis.
red, Julie.
Yeah, Mike Davis just saying that he just favours the red bolt.
Super line in again here for Julie. Just has to run the trip again.
Rest off her own.
Great ball from Julie. That's a fantastic ball, you know. We want to drop this in, so she's drawn a certain one. We'll have a look and see if they think there's any more, but great last ball from
Umpire,
Julie.
please.
Umpire being called on.
1 green and a measure.
Umpire Tony Hatch, fantastic view from our ditch cam there. Steady hands of our umpires.
One shot, Julie Forrest.
Changing the length of jack. Good plan, I think. Darren need to shake up Stuart's length here, really.
Yeah, I think it's a clever decision from Julie.
Jack
Obviously,
length,
Stuart
26
settled into a
metres,
length in the
26.
first set and kind of dominated after the first end. So yeah, it's a good call from Julie. She just now has to back it up and try and get her first 2 balls working.
Good track again from Stuart. Well, the change of jack length certainly hasn't thrown Stuart Anderson.
It's in front, it's an inch and a half gap.
I think when you change the length of jack, Darren, you always hope you're going to really nail it with your lead bowl. And when you see your opposition beat your first bowl, it puts you back under pressure again.
Yeah, Stuart couldn't have played a better first one. Unfortunately for Julie, she's just pulling up short, so not giving herself much opportunity, just with being on the neat side.
Here again, Stuart.
Two red.
And no target on. 2 perfect deliveries there. Leaves Julie really still just having to try and draw in close. Give her options with the last delivery.
Yeah, certainly further this time, so whether it will get back and make the contact.
That certainly
Two red.
helped.
It's an excellent ball from Julie. You know, she probably could never get the shot there, but she's given herself a chance for her last ball.
Good again from Stuart, just behind. Julie plays down the forehand here now and just trails the jack.
Yeah, I think it's a forehand draw for Julie. She'll just be trying to draw the shot. Obviously, springing the jack, she's giving herself a wee bit of room, not much, but just be trying a forehand draw.
Great line, I'm not sure she's reached with this. Needs to run.
One red.
Looks like she saved one, so good effort from Julie, just a fraction short. Stuart not left with a similar draw off the forehand, trying to collect a double.
One shot, Stuart Anderson.
Ties the
Set
setup at
score
1-all.
1-1 after 2 ends.
Again, Stuart immediately taking the mat back. He was so dominant in the first set at the full length jack. Looking to be similar.
Jack length 29.5 metres, 29.5.
And a great opening bowl.
Perfect ball from Stuart there. Down his forehand. Great weight. Julie already under a bit of pressure early in the end to just get a close one in here.
Just pulling up short again. Quite easy to do out there, folks. You just think you're playing a neat draw, and it pulls up that 2 feet to a yard short.
Yeah, I mean, I'm finding that really difficult to call at the moment. Janice, obviously we were back from New Zealand about a month ago, and the bowls there were running on and on and on, so I find it quite difficult to actually just pick the weight up myself, if I'm being perfectly honest. Just so used to seeing the bowls running on forever when we were in New Zealand, and now we've come back to our indoor, which should be our faster part of the game, and the bowls just seem to be slowing up and stopping, so it's a difficult weight just to pick up.
2 red.
Julie didn't want to be short with that second delivery. So did the classic of playing a yard over. Looks scared again here, Stuart. Back just behind.
3
Yep.
red.
Yeah, it's a great 3 because there's no target for Julie. I mean, she's just got to try and draw the shot. Unfortunately, her first one pulled up just slightly short. She's overcompensated with her second, so it's just a case of trying to trust it, get it out there on the right line and just try and get the weight right.
Yeah, playing it down the backhand. She's been up to the head, so she'll have seen Stuart's bowls just behind the jack on this side. Rest it, she gets shot. Needs to be reaching though.
Three red.
Yeah, not far off, but just far enough not to beat anything, so there's nothing really for Stuart to cover. He'll just try and draw another one in, keep putting the pressure on Julie.
This might not have made the trip. Disappointed with that, but he wouldn't want to leave a catch on her favoured forehand. Just needs to adjust this now.
Yeah, it just needs to be running, that's the problem, I think. If she's got the running, she's okay, but this hand pulls in at the end. Oh, nice slide.
Nice
Certainly
little
saved.
wiggle.
Yeah, she was always in the area, to be fair. Just that hand, it does sort of whip across towards the end of its journey, but Julie on that occasion had good weight just to get the glide, and she'll be delighted to either be one up or one down. Big saving on the end.
One shot, Stuart Anderson.
Oh, like you say, Julie will be glad that's just the one shot. Might have a slight delay here. There has been somebody taken poorly in the auditorium. Just we'll see what the decision is here. Players just stopping.
Players been suspended for a couple of minutes, please. Thank you.
There we go. Mike Davis just confirming play suspended. We'll be back with you shortly.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Just to let you know that what we're going to do is we're going to...
Well, that was good to have that news. It's not easy in there. A lot of people don't take on water when they're in the venue. Can get quite dry out there. Not easy for the players either,
Jack
Darren,
length,
when
29.5 metres.
sort of flow's disturbed a little bit, but it does happen.
Yeah, of course it does, you know, and thankfully in this match it was quite an even second set, so I think Cud duly failed to draw second shot at the last end, and Stuart had went into a 4-1 lead. Then I'm sure Stuart might have not been delighted with the break in play. There's obviously nothing that can be done about it, so it's probably pretty fair that it's an even set and both players just have to try and focus back in on the game now.
Well, it certainly hasn't disrupted Stuart's drawn a brilliant bowl there. Both players, I noticed, just checking the score, just to familiarise themselves with where they were up to. I'm probably checking what ends have been played. wasn't a terribly long break in play. We have had longer. I'm just glad to hear that Betty's feeling better. Oh, Julie, down a good line again. What's the pace like of this? Swinging back to the jack. Oh, that's a good delivery from Julie.
Fantastic ball
One
from
red.
Julie. Slightly unfortunate, probably not to take the shot.
Yeah, they're both just under a bow short of Jack Eye, both of them. The gap on yours is just under half an inch. Julie's is 1.5 inches, the gap.
Decision for Stuart really here, Darren, on what hand he plays. I think that was why he was just trying to find out the positioning of the bowls.
Yeah, late change of mind from Stuart to go back to his forehand again, so he'll just be trying to draw around the two bowls if possible, although he appears to just maybe be coming up on the neat side. Sure, in an ideal world, they'll be trying to pass that.
A tough shot for Julie, really, to get shot here now. Again, needs to get some sort of connection with her own bowl. Inside her own might take Stuart's out. Behind's good. That gives her options with her last bowl.
Yeah, I think Stuart will be aware of that and he'll be trying to just draw around if he can. Round the back of the jack somewhere. About a foot behind, that would be an ideal spot for him.
Good track for it. Yeah, that's not in a bad home at all.
Yeah, great place. So Julie's left with the same shots last time. It's a very difficult shot. She just wants to be arriving down that forehand, but as we all know, that type of shot is pretty difficult. She's not going to draw it, so she's going to have to have more weight than a draw. Just depends how confident she is as to the type of weight she'll play.
This will go somewhere.
Just a fraction under. Quite impressed with the weight she played that with. I think that was the right weight to play it with. Take
One
the
shot,
difficulty
Stuart
out the shot, just slightly under her target.
Well, it's all been ones in this second set.
Score 3-1 after 4 ends.
It's 3-1 to the number 9 seed, Stuart Anderson.
Jack length 28.5 metres. 28.5.
Good question there. It actually has cropped up before. What happens if the marker is unwell? Well, if Mike Davis was taken unwell, the umpire would come onto the rink to take over the marking position. We've got a spare umpire at all events. It all swaps about a bit out there, but yes, that's why we carry 4 umpires on every day, just in case one of them's taken unwell.
Yeah, it's probably similar to most sports nowadays, Janice, in football. It's the kind of same scenario. The 4th official, if you like, would obviously come on and take over one of the duties. But yeah, it did in fact happen in Blackpool during one of my matches last season, so it doesn't happen very often, but that's why the cover's there.
When I was giving that explanation, Darren, I didn't realise it was actually your match that I was away. I was away at the ladies' home international series at that point, and I'd heard that one of the markers had been taken unwell at Blackpool. I didn't realise it was in your game.
There you go. Yeah, so Julie needs to get back on track here. This looks like a much better effort if she bends. Great effort.
One red.
Stuart's just really been that bit more
Stuart's
consistent on the
ball
whole.
Is 6 inches past Jack high.
Yeah, he's played the right balls, the consistent balls at the right time, and you know, it's not a set that Stuart has to win, so Julie will be keen not to let him get too far into the distance here. You know, he's only 3-1 at the moment, but she doesn't want to be dropping much more shots.
Very good track here. Needs to be perfect weight for it to swing back in. Yeah, good result.
Good ball from Julie. Just repeated her second
On
ball.
green.
Similar ball, and she just used her green ball to come across and sit inside the red. So it's a great ball. Similar sort of shot for Stuart, I think. He'll just be trying to come down the backhand. If he can turn the jack, he'll be aware he'll make it 3.
Looks on a very good line for it, Darren. All on his pace here. Really close to this. Got a shot out of it, I think.
One
Great
red.
ball from Stuart, followed Julie's up and sat in an absolutely perfect position. There's really very, very little for Julie to play here now. She has to be very careful if she keeps her backhand. Any touch is probably going to make it worse. Only other option would be a forehand draw round the front stuff, but that's not easy either.
More aggressive stance from Julie means that she's playing a runner. It's very close. Oh, got a good result there.
Very good connection. I think she's made the shot. A brave shot, but she executed it fantastically well.
One shot, Julie Forrest.
Only danger with that shot was if she pushed red onto green, the 2 greens could have went out.
Set score,
One
3-2
locked on the
after
other,
5
so
ends.
very, very good shot.
Jack length, 26.5 metres, 26.5.
Question on the umpires and markers again. It is a group of markers and umpires that are very, very close. We have 2 new sters, or relatively new sters. They've both done events now, but Tony Hatch and Dan McManus, who joins us at the weekend for the final week here, they go through a very vigorous testing process, marking in nationals and at events such as that. This is a totally different ball game, if you'll excuse the pun. They're under a lot of pressure.
Was 2.5 feet
And
short
some
of
of
Jack
the
high.
top markers and umpires that I've known haven't been able to take the pressure once they've got onto the portable rink and have failed at the trial stage. So I think the answer to the question, how would you go about becoming one of the umpires? You're probably best to put that in writing to the CEO of the World Bowls Tour, Richard Maddison, on the contact form on the World Bowls Tour website. And he would take it from there and get back to you.
Yeah, Janice, it's certainly a tough job. I wouldn't fancy their job one little second. You know, the amount of rule changes in this particular tour and the things they have to remember. It's a very, very tough ask, you know, and they're under the spotlight as much as the players. So it's a tough thing to do, and we're lucky and have been lucky over the years to have a great panel of them, and they're great people to work with. And as a bowler, you know, I'm sure people back home would relate to this. If you have a good marker in the singles, it just adds to the game. Players have the respect to the marker, and the game seems to flow much better.
Well, Julie's down a good track again, might have just overplayed it, was really looking for the inside edge of her own bowl to bring it back to Stewart's red shot.
Yeah, Stuart put a great last one. He'll be aware of the dangers that lie just round the head though, so he may elect just to switch on the backhand here. The options are to draw round on the forehand just to try and draw round it and get another ball in, but I fancy it's a backhand draw just to try and put another ball in the area.
Just held off for him there. Good weight.
Yeah, so a wee chance for Julie here. You know, she wasn't far away with her last one. She can come on to Stuart's ball or the jack, then she's likely to score a 2 or 3.
Time out goes.
Just realised she didn't have enough seconds left there to
Julie has 3 timeouts remaining.
be comfortable to deliver a bowl, so quite rightly so, chose to take one of her timeouts.
One shot,
Stuart's
Stuart
opting
Anderson.
to take the one there.
Yeah, Stuart realised there wasn't probably much he could do in the head there apart from give it away.
Set score 4-2 after 6 ends.
Taking the one to keep his 2-shot advantage.
It's all been counts of 1 in this second set. Julie's just been on the wrong side at 4 of the 6 ends. 3 ends left. She needs to score 3 shots to get ahead of Stuart. Needs to win this set to take us into a tie break.
Back length 29.5 metres, 29.5.
Good opener again by Stuart. Just over. But he's in the driving seat at the moment in this game. Won the first set, 13-3. 2 up in the second set.
Julie just dropping short here. She can't afford too many of them as we go up to the final 3 ends of this set. She'll need balls to be either into the head or certainly beyond it to give her the chances she may require.
Stuart's urging this bowl on as well. Overplayed it, Darren. It's a
Too red.
struggle for Julie out there at the moment to just catch that weight.
The gap is 8 inches.
Yeah, I think it's a difficulty when your first one drops just on the neat side, and you almost feel you've got to push that second one, and all it needs is a slight over push, and you're over-correcting. So it's the first ball really for Julie that's the problem, more than the second one, I think.
Might see something a little bit more aggressive from Julie down this forehand now. Will it move? It's in the area to change something.
Yeah, she hit the target, and that's all you can do sometimes. Just didn't get the best of results. One ball stayed in there. Stuart's other ball stayed at the back of the rink in the corner, so he has a back ball out there. Not really much to cover again, to be honest, so I think he'll just try and draw another one in.
Another good ball from Stuart. He's got the best back as well, right at the back of the rink.
3 red.
Can't just see it in shot, but there is red ball of Stuart's is just hanging on to the back corner. Yep, just see it there from ditch camp.
Julie switches onto the backhand. I think it's just the backhand draw. On a very, very good line. It's all our speed now. Just running through, saved one, I think. Still losing a 2.
2 shots, Stuart Anderson.
Well, Stuart takes a 6-2 lead with 2 ends to
Set
go.
score 6-2 after 7 ends.
Means Julie's got to score 5 over 2 ends. Julie's not played badly. Just it happens with that first ball. You drop it a yard short, Darren. It's not easy to actually correct yourself. And it's happening time and time again to all the top players.
Yeah,
Jack
absolutely.
length,
You know,
28
it's
and a
going to
half
be a tough
metres,
ask for Julie
28 and a
now.
half.
She probably needs to score a 3 this end realistically to give her a chance. She's not going to have the last ball at the last end, so needs to play a really big end, and I'm quite sure Stuart will just be trying to close the ends down now.
Good opener.
Just a quick point from one of the viewers about the sponsors boards down the side, and can it be off-putting to the players? I think as a player now, you just accept they're there, you get used to them. The portable rink itself's a unique venue, it's a unique facility, so I think you just get used to having the boards at the side. I think the only time they really venture into our site is when the jack's sprung to the side, and you're obviously trying your best not to clatter into them with your balls. So, but you know, as a normal end, then they're just part of the set. You don't really take them on board now.
Good again here from Stuart.
2 red.
And Julie's got to be somewhere abouts with this ball to give herself a chance. Needs to move, get an edge off the outside ball. Yeah, gets shot.
1 green. Yeah, it's a bow short. It's just over a bow short of jack high. And the gap is 3 inches.
Stuart just looking to get something else in the area, I think, here. Not too worried that he's one down, but would like to draw a shot.
One green.
It's about effort from Stuart. He's played really consistent throughout the match. He's made it difficult for Julie just by being so consistent. Important for Julie just to try and draw another shot here.
In the area. Just overreached. The danger was there being short though, Darren. She didn't want to see another short ball go up.
Yeah, it was a difficult draw. I mean, I can understand why she kept the backhand. She'd just drawn well on it before. It was a difficult draw on the backhand because if she'd come up to the back of her own bowl, I'm not sure she would have made a shot. So, might have been an option to switch hands, but I can understand why she would have kept her backhand having drawn the shot. Stuart's just looking for a slight correction on his last. Another 6 inches or so, he'll draw the shot.
Looks good.
One red.
Yeah, drawn shot with that.
It's effectively a match lie now as well, so it just changes the whole parameters at the end. Julie must score this end, so I sense it'll be a more attacking ball from Julie this time, down the backhand, try and turn her own into the head. Even if she turns it onto the jack, she might make a 2.
Got to score and count and be on the board with this bowl. Otherwise, Stuart Anderson takes his place against Graham McKee in the second round. Played it on the wide side, Darren. I think she's just going to slip past. Game over.
One shot,
Stuart
second set in the match,
Anderson.
Stuart Anderson.
He's the first seed to get through in an interesting couple of days bowls. Thanks for your company, Darren.
Yeah, thanks, Janice. Stuart played very well, very consistent, and he'll be delighted with his win.
Join us again at 7:30 tonight for David Gawley versus Chris Gale.